We have you on the air. So you are undoubtedly one of the greatest hockey players of all time from the town of New Milford. Just talk to us a little bit about your background in the game of hockey and kind of how that led you through high school and now as a Blue Devil.
I started a little late for hockey because people start basically when they can start walking. But I ended up starting when I was 7 years old just because I was watching hockey with my uncle that he plays as well, and I was very interested in it. So I signed up for a couple learn to skate things, and then the rest was history. I played out of Danbury, actually where Jack works right now, and then I played. Usually, you can take a year off for freshman year for high school, but I ended up playing my freshman year, and then played till senior year. Was one of the captains senior year, and then now I'm playing at Central. So
Well, that's awesome, man. And really, the age of 7 is late for hockey. I really wouldn't have thought that. I feel like that's a big year for most people to get kind of involved in their sport. It's late for hockey.
yeah, so usually for hockey because it's mostly for like the hockey families. So a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of my friends, if they have older brothers that play or older sisters, then they start out when they're young. But I didn't have anyone except for my uncle and my family. So I started playing soccer like when I was like 4 or 5. But then I came late to hockey. Like 7 doesn't sound too crazy, but like some of these people, like especially in the NHL and at the college level, they start when they're like 2 or 3.
Right. Wow. That's really really intriguing. Just from my standpoint, because that's kind of where I started playing all of the sports together. So maybe that's just a particular part to that sport. So yeah, just other things that we wanted to talk about. Kind of your adjustment from high school to college, and obviously CCSU at a club level is a little. Not that there's any disregard in this, but it's a little less demanding than a true varsity level hockey. What does it take to kind of make that jump from high school to a collegiate level sport, even though it is club?
So in high school, it's a lot more demanding than what I'm doing right now. It was every day, probably off once a week, and the big adjustment though is the speed to the game. And club hockey is like arguably one of the club sports when like you can't just go into it like most people. It's like, oh, there's club rugby. I've never played rugby before, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll play. Like club hockey, it's very demanding, and there's a bunch of top players. Like we play University of New Hampshire, RPI, which are top. They have D1 programs, but it's a lot different because at Central there is no D1 program, so we're basically the hockey team, and then we take it very seriously
Mm.
there too.
Yeah, that is a lot of universities have that kind of that dynamic. Of course, at the University of Rhode Island, my alma mater, it's the same situation. The URI hockey team is technically D1 at the club level, at the ACHA level, but that is the hockey team it's represented. How do you feel that the hockey team at Central kind of compares to other sports? Do they kind of get the same following, or is it a little bit more of a challenge for you guys?
It's a challenge because there's no rink on the campus. It's 5 minutes off campus, but it's also our games have been relatively later in the past couple of years. But now because we actually have a lot of recruits coming up, we've been taking it a lot more seriously. Last year was the first year we made the playoffs in I think 5 years. So we got started to get more fans towards the end of the year, and then I feel like our following is going to get a lot better because we've recruited a lot of talent, and we actually have been winning more than the past couple of years. So,
Yeah, winning definitely does help, no matter what sport you are
oh yeah.
playing in, watching in. If you're winning games, you're going to get people in seats, which is important. In terms of your personal play, is there a particular player that you kind of model your game after, whether NHL or former or present?
So I didn't really, up until my junior or senior year, I didn't really kind of compare myself to anyone at like the higher level. But one of my teammates that was at New Milford and that I play with at Central now, Riley, I ended up kind of not mimicking, but just like watching how he plays because we're the same build, same kind of play style.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. But once I got older, and because he graduated when I was going to my junior year, so I kind of like a Rick Nash type player, just
Mm-hmm.
because he's not the fastest, he's not like too crazy with his play style, but he just gets the job done, and that's how I do. I've never been a pure goal scorer, but I've always been a like pass first kind of player, and I wouldn't even say grinder because that's not exactly. I don't believe that like I am a grinder, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just one of those things where it's just like going to the corners, get gritty, but also like I have the skill level to pass, and I see the ice very well.
Yeah, I think you call it a power forward in NHL, right?
Yeah, yeah,
More
yeah.
of a almost a grinder. Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to describe it. Is there a moment in your hockey career, whether it's scoring a game-winning goal or winning something? What's the top moment for you that kind of sticks out and says, that so far has been the top moment of my hockey playing career?
Well, I kind of have two. So one, when I like first started out, it was just in house league, but like the house league at Danbury was huge. So I think there were 4 or 5 teams, and it was like I think it was my first or second year playing, and it was we went into overtime, and I ended up passing over this kid, and it was the kid's first goal, and we ended up winning the championship. And like I said, it was house league, but it was a big deal since it was my first experience at like one of those. One of the championship type games. And but then when I played travel, so I took a weird route with it. I played house league up until my bantam year, and then I didn't try out for travel, but they just put me on actually the B team. So they were just like, okay, yeah, you could get on this team, whatever. And the whole year, like we played well, but we kept getting beat a lot. And we're like, man, this is like not by a lot of points, but just in general, our record wasn't
Mm.
the best. But then we go into our states, and our coach, which I still talk to him to this day, Tucker. He made our schedule so we played harder teams in the beginning, and we ended up going undefeated in states. And just that moment where we win and everyone goes out there, you get a medal and stuff. That was one of the big moments for me.
And that's an interesting strategy. Kind of get through the hard teams first, build up your confidence, build up your play, and then you just kind of cruise along. I really like that. So, looking forward towards this season, obviously there's a ton of speculation right now. It's kind of a little far out, your particular season, but you guys started around September, late September, early October. Have you heard anything? Do you know anything? Or is it just all speculation right now? What are your thoughts? What is your knowledge about a potential season this year, and how long it's going to be? Any of those details?
So I know exactly. Our coach spoke to the ACHA, and I guess at this moment, like 2 weeks ago, the season's on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be. I believe most campuses are doing this, but you can go back on campus, but once you go home for Thanksgiving break, then it's all online for like December. So we just
Right.
won't. What I've been hearing is we're going to have a season, and even if they do only in-state games for the first semester, most of our games are in-state that semester. We set it up that way. But at the moment, it seems like we're going to have a season, and I know a lot of the people coming up, a lot of the recruits that we have. Obviously, I mean everyone wants a season, but it hits like hard to home with them just because they had their senior year kind of stripped away from them.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for so many people involved in this because you really don't get to enjoy your full experience. So, in your honest opinion, do you think it's feasible to achieve maybe a half season, some sort of aggregated schedule, or maybe you guys don't play the full schedule, but instead you get kind of a um, get your times worth essentially.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
know because the numbers keep fluctuating with the number of cases around not only like like the big name states, but even small name states. So it really just depends. But I mean, I'm being optimistic and thinking that we will have a season, just because. I mean, I'm going into my junior year. Like, if we have not even a half a season, but cut like 1 or 2 games off, obviously I'll be a little upset because I might be playing like a team where I've played with one of the kids. But then again, I think I speak for everyone. I just want to get back on the ice and start playing each other.
Absolutely. I think everybody is hoping for that right now. We'll shift away kind of from your hockey and your game itself and move up to the bigger stage. And, of course, we've heard that the NHL has finalized their protocols and procedures for the upcoming restart. Just kind of your general thoughts. The 2 hub cities teams get to go back to training camp. Everyone can report on July 13th. What are the first thoughts that come to your mind when you hear all that?
I mean, I'm obviously very happy because obviously there's not too many sports to watch, and hockey is my favorite sport since not only do I play, but I enjoy watching it. But it's a big step just to hear the dates where people can do it, and also the hub cities and everything. But I mean, and they're also being very, very cautious on their testing. I think they get tested every single day.
Yeah, it's regularly.
So so I mean, it's a big step, and hopefully that means that not only NHL but other sports can return too, like the NFL in the fall.
Yeah, we are hoping that everything kind of gets put back together. If you're looking at this kind of restart schedule, I have a feeling your answer, it might be a shade biased, but if there's a team that stands out to you, what team are you looking for in this restart to make some noise that might not have been able to had we had a regular season?
Well, I wouldn't say biased, but I mean, I'm a Rangers fan, but if you look at how they played after the All-Star break, it was just lights out. I mean, I don't know how many games they won in a row. They were just on a roll, and it also helps too that, I mean, Igor was a little hurt, but he's healthy now. Buchnevich is now healthy. Kreider was out for a while, but now because of this, he was able to heal, and he's back on the ice. And I heard that one of the trainers was saying that he looks like even better than he was before. So.
Yeah, I think
and, I mean,
they're definitely up there.
They're playing the Hurricanes in the whatever it's called, and the numbers kind of look. I think the Rangers swept them every single game this season.
Yeah, they've had the Hurricanes number not only this year, but historically speaking, especially with the King in between the pipes, the Hurricanes haven't stood a chance against that team.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, they have good talent. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I don't know what it is, if the Rangers adapt to their play style or it's just they always have good luck against them. But
yeah, so we've had a really good, I think, positive stretch where we can start to see the games coming back. And Max, we thank you today for taking the time. Any special projects, any location, where the viewers can find you on social media and other things like that?
So I'll start off with, if anyone wants to, we're actually starting up a live stream with a commentator this year for our games. And I don't know exactly where that'll be, but it should be either on our Twitter, which is just CCSU Ice Hockey, or Instagram, CCSU Ice Hockey, but we also do have a website, which I feel like it would be put up on there too.
Awesome. We'll keep our eyes out for that. Hey, you should let them know. Twitch is definitely a good platform for it. Very widespread, easy to follow, and it's free. So if you're in the department of making suggestions, I think Twitch might be a good route for you guys. Max, thanks so much for being on the show today. We appreciate it. We appreciate your support. We're wishing for a season for you guys, and hope everything goes well, and I hope you stay safe, enjoy, and look forward to seeing you soon, possibly on the island.
Oh, yeah.
This should be fun.
All right, pal.
Thanks for coming on. Of course, brother. Have a good day.
Yep, have a good one.